Hey, it's Leaf here. I want to go over the parts of the wheel hub puller that I made. This is a piece of 1/4 inch plate, low carbon steel. As you can see, it's from a big box store. It's a 1/4 inch thick by 12 and 1 foot, so it's a 12 by 12. So quite thick, it's pretty heavy. I used an oxyacetylene cutting torch to cut this out and then grind this smooth. And the idea of this is to go over the hub bolts, but let's look at that in a few minutes. Here's the second piece that I fabricated, which is also 1/4 inch low carbon steel plate with 3 holes in it for the 3 studs, and then 2 1/2 inch bolts that are 4 inches long. These are grade 8, so they're very strong. And then I brazed the nut on the bottom. I didn't weld the nut because this brazing is about 1,000 degrees lower. I didn't want to compromise the carbon strength of these 8 grade nuts, so I brazed them, and it worked, and they're holding up pretty well. Okay, so that's the second piece. Here are 3 lug bolts that you can use for the 3 studs. Here is the simulated hub cover for which you have on the 911. This is 69 to 71 steel trailing arms. You have your four bolts here. This is the bearing cap. I don't have the bearing plate here or the washers or anything. I just wanted to mock this up for you. But nevertheless, these are the new e-brakes that I'm using, so that these were totally rebuilt. And then here's a hub, one of the old hubs that I pulled. I pulled these hubs because when I bought these 69 through 71 trailing arms, you had stuff like this where a stud was cracked. Furthermore, as I said in other posts and videos, these were, I believe, 9.5 centimeters long, indicating that the previous owner or the previous life of these studs involved racing or a lot of spacers, but these are very long. Remember, stock OEM studs are 45 millimeters or 4.5 centimeters. So that's what I ordered on the new wheel hubs. So just a wheel hub with the 28 spline inside on it. Okay, so you don't even need to address the stub axle or the other side of the trailing arm when you do this. So here's the setup. With your trailing arm in the vise, this will be vertical. You'll have the 4 bolts intact. You'll also have the wheel hub there, and it'll look like this. I mean, there is a little bit of clearance, but not much. It's about like that. So the idea of this thick 12 by 12 plate is to stick this plate, as you can see, shove this plate when the trailing arm is in a vise, shove this plate in onto these, orient it so that it's covering 3 of these 4 bolts like this, and you can get that to work just like that. This is about, I think, 3.5 inches across, but just measure it. I measured it in millimeters and then cut it out. I can't remember what it was. So you slide this in between your wheel hub and this bearing cover. Yeah, you're going to be putting pressure on these bolts, but you got to get this wheel hub off. And I don't like the method to use C-clamps to come in from the back. This is actually a lot faster and easier. So then you're going to have in the vise your steel trailing arm with this 12 by 12 inch plate there positioned. Then your hub will be there. Then you slide this piece down over 3 studs, as so on and so forth. Some of these are not in, let's choose these. These are long, so they're out of orientation. So you slide this plate, actually the other way around, slide this plate down on 3 studs, and then use your use your 3 studs to lock this in. Just use a pneumatic socket driver, impact wrench or whatever. Drive those 3 studs in. Loosen these up. This will be about a ½ inch away from the back plate as you tighten those lug nuts down. So I'm almost backed them out all the way. Again, what were these? These were grade 8 4-inch by a half coarse thread, these two. These are your 3 studs with lugs on them. So backing out. So there you are. It's very close to the plate. And now you can begin to, these would be tightened, these lug nuts would be tightened all the way down to this smaller plate, this 4-inch by 12. Here, here, and then in the back one here. Then begin with your steel trailing arm and the vise, begin torquing these down one at a time. So take turns, about 2 or 3 spins with an impact wrench, 2 or 3 spins. Then you'll feel the hub move. It'll go, it'll give. So it'll be coming out. You alternate several rotations, several rotations, several rotations. I mean, that hub has to come out about, an 1.25 inches to 1.5 inches. So it's got a little bit of travel. That's why I designed these to be 4 inches long. So you keep alternating the tightening of these two, and then your hub will fall right out of your the bearing. Then you have to just pull the bearing. So it's a very fast approach for removing wheel hubs. And in fact, I really made this because I could not remove a wheel hub in any way, in any fashion possible. It was just, I didn't want to use the slide puller to hammer and hammer and hammer away, because I had a new wheel hub in that I erroneously stuck in the old bearing. So I had to get it out of there. So I didn't want to trash the wheel hub. This is an older wheel. This is a replacement wheel hub. So I have new hubs now and new stub axles. So everything is pulled. But I did need to make this setup in order to pull the wheel hub off. It was the only way I could have gotten it off, other than using a press with some type of a setup, possibly with treated lumber, 4x4s, and some steel plates. But that would have taken some work, and I don't have a press, so this worked.